friends, your girlfriend, your husband, your children. Okay, so you had to be very careful about that. Okay, so basically, we already understood that everybody has the right to change their minds, but not so often. Otherwise, you will look like you are too insecure. Probably, you will look like you are an undecisive person and you don't know what you want. Okay, probably. Okay, but anyway, nobody can judge you. Okay, now to continue with this part, it says listen to a conversation and complete each statement about the decision each person made. Then listen again and use the vocabulary to write the reason each person changed his or her mind. Okay, so you're going to listen like a stories, and you have to decide um, what was the decision that the first decision they had in mind, and then if they change it, if they took them out of it, if their taste change. So use the words from the vocabulary. Okay, let's listen.
Listen to the conversations. Complete each statement about the decision each person made. Conversation 1.
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
Me? I actually wanted to be a sculptor, and I was one for about 5 years.
Really? So how come you're an architect now?
I guess it was just impossible to make a living.
I can imagine.
Conversation 2.
Weren't you going to marry that beautiful American dancer? What was her name? Jessica?
You remember? You're amazing.
What made you change your mind?
I never really changed my mind. My parents convinced me not to do it.
Conversation 3.
I always thought you would become a lawyer.
What do you mean?
Well, you love to argue, and you love to win.
To tell you the truth, I really thought I would become a lawyer too, but I couldn't pass the entrance exam. I took it twice.
You're kidding.
Well, there's more to law than arguing and winning.
Conversation 4.
I remember that Romanian skier you were going to marry.
Oh, yes, Andrei. He was so cute.
Whatever happened?
When you get older, your tastes just change, I guess. That's why I married Jerome.
Okay. If you realize there are different type of people that they change their mind and they at the end they did something different, and some of them were important decisions, some of them probably it was easy. Now let's listen again and let's try to do one by one and you tell me. Okay?
Listen again and use the vocabulary to write the reason each person changed his or her mind. Conversation 1.
So what did you want to be when you grew up?
Me? I actually wanted to be a sculptor, and I was one for about 5 years.
Really? So how come you're an architect now?
I guess it was just impossible to make a living.
I can imagine.
Okay. Now, she wanted to be what?
An architect.
Sculptor.
Sculptor. Very good. And then, but she changed her mind because for 5 years she wasn't a sculptor. But what happened? After 5 years, she is. Yes?
They didn't get too much money to live.
Okay. Okay. Let's leave it there. You're right. Just find the correct vocabulary words. Okay. Number 2. Let's listen to the number 2. Then I show you the answers, but you're okay. Money.
Conversation 2.
Weren't you going to marry that beautiful American dancer? What was her name? Jessica?
You remember? You're amazing.
What made you change your mind?
I never really changed my mind. My parents convinced me not to do it.
Okay, so what happened? He was going to what?
To marry.
He was going to marry Jessica. Jessica was a beautiful dancer. It says, but he didn't because
his parents make him change his mind.
Okay, good. Yes, that is the idea. So it wasn't his decision. Okay, let's go for the number 3.
Conversation 3.
I always thought you would become a lawyer.
What do you mean?
Well, you love to argue, and you love to win.
To tell you the truth, I really thought I would become a lawyer too, but I couldn't pass the entrance exam. I took it twice.
You're kidding.
Well, there's more to law than arguing and winning.
Okay, so he always thought she would become
Lawyer.
a lawyer. Okay, but she didn't do it because
They didn't pass the exam.
she didn't pass the exam. And how many times did she take the exam?
Twice.
Okay. How often? How many times will you try something? And if you don't pass it, it's okay. How many times are recommendable to try something? How many times would you try something?
3 times.
3 times and that's it. Okay. More than 3? When there are important decisions, probably you think it twice. Okay. Let's go for the last one.
Conversation 4.
I remember that Romanian skier you were going to marry.
Oh, yes, Andre. He was so cute.
Whatever happened?
When you get older, your tastes just change, I guess. That's why I married Jerome.
Okay. She was going to?
He was going to marry a Romanian named Andre.
Okay. Yes, she was going to marry a Romanian named Andre. Okay. And she says it was very handsome, something like that. But she didn't because what? What do you think she didn't do it?
In the meantime of the years, the taste changed for her.
Okay, it says probably because when you get older, your taste changed. Probably you find a girl or you find a boy at in your 20s and you were really in love and you suppose you wanted to have a kids and have a family. Probably you thought that that was the right girl and then you realize after, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you decided it wasn't the right girl. So probably you never told her that you wanted to get married. But that's something that makes you change your mind, only you. Okay, probably. Now, the first one it was she wanted to be a sculptor, but she changed her mind because it was impossible to make a living. Make a living as a sculptor, probably she tried for 5 years, but then she quit and she decided to do another thing. It was impossible. Okay. Next one, it says he really wanted to marry Jessica. It says, do you still remember her? Yeah, it was beautiful. He says, why you didn't marry? Because my do it. Okay. And the next one, it says he always thought about he would become a lawyer because she likes to argue and she likes to win all the time. But she didn't do it because she couldn't pass the entrance exam. Entrance exam for us serían los entrance exam. ¿Cómo se le denominan a los entrance exam? Exámenes de what?
Admisión.
Very good. So probably that's why he changed her mind. Okay, that is her. It's not his. Okay, change the topic. another. Do you know? I'm giving an example, okay? Probably when you were at high school, they offer you a scholarship or they offer you exchange to study in the United States, to go and study there for a year. Another from but you decided, okay, and after, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, university, and now you're studying English and you couldn't graduate because you are not, because you didn't pass all the English courses, because you left the English at the end, and English, you can graduate. And now, when you think back, when back, that is something you would have studied in 6 years, but I didn't. Now I am studying English and have to wait courses in order to graduate. That is a regret. What do you think is a regret? Is a regret. Yes, that is exactly what is a regret. Okay. Is when you probably, when you have a regret, it's because you had the chance to do something that happened in the past. It was probably a big, probably time. That's why at the beginning I told you, think about time. You say probably yes or probably no. I think more often about the future than the past. But there's a lot of people that think about. They said that if you had to, there is a saying that it says if you want to improve yourself, you think about the past and not to make the same mistakes, but also thinking about the future because that's the type of life you want to have. Okay. So that is a regret. When you think about the past and there were decisions that you didn't took in the past that you took, probably not much, or probably a lot. And then you have a regret. Okay, that is a regret. Do you have any type of regrets? I don't want you that you share with me your regrets. Don't worry. Those are too personal. But do you regret about something? Yes, or have you regret about something? Or no? ¿Se arrepienten o se han arrepentido de algo? Yes. Que no hicieron, que no comieron, que no fueron, que no intentaron. Probably. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think that all the people have a certain type of regrets that probably we could have done something different, but probably we didn't do it. Okay. So since we already know what is a regret, okay, we're going to move to the next one. And the next one, before we go to the grammar part, we're going to go with the conversation. And this, there are the women talking about probably they are married, probably they are single, probably they are friends, or I don't know. Look at the conversation.
Read and listen to a conversation between two people discussing a regret about the past.
I should have married Stephen.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have had children by now.
Could be, but you never know. You might not have been happy.
True.
Okay. Those are the very common regrets.
Read and listen to a conversation between two people discussing a regret about the past.
I should have married Stephen.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have had children by now.
Could be, but you never know. You might not have been happy.
Okay,
True.
so they're discussing very important decision, that is marriage. If you believe in marriage, that is an important decision for you. If you don't believe in marriage, but you believe in being with someone for a very long time and you don't need a license that says that you want to get married, is also good, because you like to be with someone, not necessarily getting married, but having someone. At the end, you decide if you get married. Getting married and write it and sign something is just a paper. Okay. But in this case, it says, I should have married Stephen. Why do you think that? So she has something that regrets. Why do you think that? Well, I might had children by now. And the other person says, could be, but you never know. You never know, but because you didn't do it. Okay. So it's something that happened. Nobody knows what could have happened. You might have not been happy. True, probably. Do you think that the both girls they know Stephen? Do you think that obviously both of them they know Stephen, because Stephen was probably an old boyfriend. Why is she regretting that? Why do you think is the idea? Why is she regretting that she couldn't marry Stephen? What does she really want? Analyze the conversation and you tell me.
Maybe she now is single.
Probably she's single. Uh-huh.
eh, don't have children.
Very good. Probably she's single and she doesn't have children. And that's what she regrets. It says, I should have married Steve. Why do you think that? Well, I might have had children by now. Probably they were thinking about getting married, obviously married. And when you think about getting married, probably the next step after getting married, in a long term or in a short term, it could be have children. And probably she wants to have children. Obviously, she doesn't have children and she regrets that about the past. But the friend told her something. Could be. So probably or probably no. But you never know. It says you might have not have been happy. Okay, probably you might not have been happy. It's true. Probably she didn't marry Stephen because probably it wasn't a really good person for her. Probably she wasn't happy, but not everyone is perfect, right? Okay. Now, what are the things that you realize about the conversation? everything is in the past, everything is in present. What can you notice about this conversation? Besides they are regretting something, what else can you notice? Any coincidence, any repeating? Very in the conversation modal auxiliaries? How many modal auxiliaries do you see in the conversation?
Just one. Might.
Might.
Okay. Okay, so
Should.
You should, might, could, and might. Yes? Very good. So, what is the idea? Okay. If you realize all of them are different type of modal auxiliaries, okay? And modal auxiliaries, in this case, they are presenting you to talk about regrets, but not only the modal auxiliary. ¿Qué más? A la par del modal auxiliary, ¿qué más ven?
A verb.
And what is the verb that you see?
Have. Be.
Very good. Should have, might have, might not have. Okay. And
Be.
then, what?
Verb be.
And then you realize you have a verb, married, had, been. Okay. So we're talking about the next grammar topic is about the perfect modals. And what makes a modal perfect? That you have a modal auxiliary, you have they have, and you have a verb in. Those verbs are in past or in past participle. Those are in past participle. What do you think?
Past participle.
Very good. So, yeah, a grammar part. We're talking about the perfect modals. And what makes a modal correct? Because they use the present perfect. That's what they make it perfect, modal perfect. Okay. Now, but before we start with the grammar part, who tried a conversation? Two volunteers for conversation. It's very short and very easy. Two volunteers.
Me, teacher.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. Oscar and Roxana. Okay, Roxana, you start.
I should have married Steven.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have children by now.
Could be, but you never know. You might not have been happy.
True.
Very good. Two more volunteers. Thank you, Roxana. Thank you, Oscar. Two more volunteers.
I can help.
Okay, Jose, and there are two more here. Let's see. Abril y Paula, and then Brian y Jose. Okay, Abril y Paula.
I should have married Steven.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have had children by now.
Could be, but you never know. you might not have been.
True.
Very good. Now, Jose and who was the other guy? Who was the other guy? Brian. Okay, Brian, you start.
I should have married Steven.
Why do you think that?
Well, I might have had children by now.
Could be, but you never know. You might not have been happy.
True.
It's very difficult to make the voice of a woman. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, so let's start with this one. And make it close up here. Look at the face of the lady. There are a lot of people. Some of or ask you, do you think all the people are happy in their jobs? Probably some of them yes, probably no. Why? Because said you take and change your life. Not right now, probably in the future. So there's a lot of decisions that you had to be careful. You second one, and you could have done this one, like the picture that I presented you. It says, I should. Why do you think she's saying that? She looks tired. Does she look happy? Probably no. Does she look comfortable? No.
No.
Does she look anxious and desperate? Probably. Why? Because it says, I should have studied medicine. And now, but what is the reality? That she's in front of the computer with a cup of coffee, probably having an office job and trying to file all this, archivar probably, or studying all this, or taking some of the files and they are in a physical way and all these files they want it in an electronic way, and she has to pass all this information to this. Probably she's regretting that she couldn't go to the medicine school, or probably I should have studied medicine. Okay, that is a big regret that she has. Okay, now, and we're talking about the perfect models. The perfect models, you already know that there are a lot of models, modal auxiliaries. You have should, you have may or might, you have could, you have would have, and you have must have. So I will explain to you how to use them and what is the difference, okay? Basically, they have if you get the idea how to use them is because you have to analyze all the context of a situation and then decide which is the model matches the situation. Have a pattern, have a grammar structure that you're supposed to follow. That in English, they say that to express a regret about past actions, you use the perfect models. I should have studied medicine. You get the idea that in Spanish, I should have studied medicine. Do you get the idea in Spanish? How would you do that in Spanish? I should have studied medicine. Porque tal vez suena un poquito más interesante en español. ¿Qué creen que es I should have studied medicine?
No tuve que haber estudiado. Yo lo traduciría debía haber
Debería.
estudiado.
Debería haber estudiado.
Debí.
Debí haber
Ajá. Debí haber estudiado medicina, si no, no estaría o archivando o aburriéndome. Eso es. I should have studied medicine. And in the perfect models, that's why you show your regret. Okay? About what? About past actions. Usted no puede tener un remordimiento de algo que no ha pasado o que va a pasar. No. Eso se tiene o no se tiene de algo que pasó. Okay? So perfect. That probably we take, they have certain type of consequences, and probably those are the some of the regrets that probably we might have, okay, in the present. Okay, just give me time because there are more people joining. Okay, now let's go to choose one by one, and they are you that for each situation you can use different type of modal auxiliaries or perfect modals. And why do they call them perfect? Because they have a pattern, they have a structure. Okay, so what will be the structure of the this one? This have all the modal auxiliaries. You have the verb have, but the principal verb or the main verb or the one that gives sense to the sentence is the past participle of the verb. So you can use should, may, or might, could, would, or must, and always have. You can use he, she, it, we, you, they, and all of them, they go with have. But the main verb is in past participle. And what is the past participle? You could have regular verbs and irregular verbs, being gone or walked. Okay, those are, that's the first thing that comes that you have to keep in mind. That is the structure. The modal auxiliary have and okay, that is the grammar structure. And then when do you use them and how do you use them? Okay, remember that everything, for example, you are going to a job interview and they ask you, do you have any, if you had the chance to change any of the decisions that you have taken, would you like to change? Of course, yes. Sometimes if you had a chance to change any of the decisions that you took in the past, probably if you think it now, probably you would change them. And so you will say, yes, I would like to change some of them. Which one would you like to change? Well, and you use the perfect model. I should have studied English before. So I wouldn't have this problem that I have right now because I haven't finished my career and I am studying English. So that's why you use the perfect models. Remember that everything that you learn in English, it's something that you are going to use when you talk to someone. And these are very advanced English. So use perfect models to express feelings and beliefs about past actions and events. Okay. And the first one that they are giving you is should and have. And then you use the past participle, that is the main verb. And you use should to express a regret or judgments. ¿Ok? Cuando usted va a juzgar a alguien, es muy fácil juzgar a alguien y predeterminar algo en nuestra forma de ser, pero necesita todo el contexto. Y mucha gente hace comentarios y decide por usted. Esos son los judgments. ¿Ok? So you use should, lo que usted cree que alguien debió haber hecho, pero no lo hizo, en su opinión. Okay. Now it says expresses or a regret. And these are some examples. And it says, I should have studied medicine. But, ¿creen que lo hizo? De acuerdo a la foto.
No.
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 Obviamente no, ¿verdad? I should have studied medicine. But unfortunately, I didn't. So I regret that. Bien, dice, she shouldn't have divorced Sam. So, mi opinión, she shouldn't have divorced Sam. That is a judgment. Estoy juzgando una decisión que una persona tomó. ¿Ok? Pero al final yo digo, but unfortunately, she did. Why did she divorce from Sam? We don't know. In my opinion, she shouldn't have done that. But she didn't. Okay? Next one. He should have brought his raincoat. So raincoat, obviously, you know what is a raincoat? Yes, what is a raincoat?
Como la capa de lluvia.
A kind of jacket that protects you from raining. And why? I'm saying he should have brought his raincoat. Why? Because it's raining hard. That's a type of judgment that I'm doing. Okay, it's not a regret. Probably the regret, it's for him. Because, I should have brought my raincoat. Or I should have brought my umbrella. Or I should have brought my windbreaker. Or I should have stayed home probably because it's raining so hard. So that is a should. Okay, you regret something or you make a judgment about a situation. Okay. The next one is may have or might have. You're being, they make a difference in sometimes, but in this case, may have or might have, they have the same meaning. So you can use may or you can use might. Most of the time, it's very common to hear most of the time the may, than might, but it's exactly the same meaning. And in this one, they are presenting you that they express possibility. When they giving you that they express a possibility, is like you have the 50%. There is a possibility. Okay? So I am not giving you 100% of certainty that is going to happen. There is always a 50% that in every decision that you take, you can get it or not. Okay? If you are playing by sure, you're not playing. If you already know that something is going to happen, you're not playing. You're not taking the decision because it's for you. It's like when you're finding a job. you're looking for a job and you give your resume to all this type of companies or business, and you are like a 50% that they accept your resume, and they're like a 50% that they don't even call you. But when your mom, your dad, your uncle, your brother, your sister talk to someone else's that is the manager of the company, and they're looking for an engineer, and you are an engineer and you just graduated, and your mom talked to this guy that is the manager of the company, and he has a job, and he asked for your resume because he's very interested and because they are very good friends. Your mom and the other guy they are really very good friends. How much chances do you have? How many chances do you have that they accept you? Probably. And there's only you and two more guys. Do you think that you could be accepted? Do you have an advantage of the two guys? Yes or no? Probably yes, you have more chances because your mom and the manager are friends. Obviously, they're going to accept you. So, possibilities, it's when you have like a 50 and a 50% that is not possible. It says, I might or I may have failed the final test. It was really hard. So, you enter to the English test and you didn't study anything. And the test, it was really hard. And you say, I might have failed the test. Or I might have failed the test. Why? Because it was really hard. So we don't know. I don't know. I didn't study. I didn't prepare myself. I didn't study hard enough. So probably 50-50. He may or might not have been able to make a living as a painter. When you choose painter, a sculptor, a artist, a musician, I don't know, any type of these occupations or professions that we talked about, probably you don't have the certainty that you're going to be a great singer, you're going to be a great musician, you're going to be a very famous sculptor. So probably that's why they're saying he may have been not be able to make a living as a painter. Okay. I decided not to go sailing. So it was my decision. I didn't go sailing, but I might have enjoyed it. I really like sailing, but I decided not to. And then I look at the past action that I took, and I probably say, I might have enjoyed it. Okay. But obviously you didn't go, and everything stayed in the past. Okay. So those are the first two model auxiliaries. The other one is could, and obviously could have. It expresses an ability or possibility. In this case, could is when you have not like a 50%. It's like you have a 70 or 75% of ability and possibility. Okay? I was good at science. So you know yourself that you were good at science. But there is a possibility at 25% that you weren't. So I could have been a good scientist. I could have been. Do you know what is I could have been? I was good in math. I could have been an excellent math teacher. Why? Because you had the ability. You had the possibility. So you could have been a good scientist. ¿Sí comprenden qué es could have been? Pude haber qué? Pude haber sido, pude haber sido un buen científico because I was good at science. When I was in high school, I was very good. Or when I was at the university, I was very good. Next one. He was the driver. he could have prevented the accident. Probably you know the driver. As I give you an example, you already know how your mom and how your dad and how your sister or brothers drive. So everybody knows. My dad probably is a kind of anxious. My mom is more calm, or probably my brother and my sister both they drive really fast. And when you make this type of thing, probably you will say, he was a driver. Okay. And probably you will say, and he could have prevented the accident. Okay. I know that he is a good driver. So he could have prevented the accident. He has the ability, he's good, and you make a judgment and you use could. Okay. Okay. Give me time. The museum was closed, but she couldn't have known that. It usually open on Tuesday. When you go to certain type of place every day, okay, so you go to McDonald's every single day, and you know that McDonald's from zone 9, it closes at 10. Es el que más tarde cierra, asumamos. McDonald's from zone 10 closes at 10. And you went to a funeral and you really want a cup of coffee. And you arrived there and you got a surprise that it was closed. And it says, oh my God, McDonald's is closed. I couldn't have known. No pude haberlo sabido. ¿Por qué? Because I know that most of the time this McDonald's closes at 10. Okay? Now, they were asking me, let's stop here. They were asking me, there's a question here. Natalie, it says, teacher, what is the difference when we just use could, should, may, and when we add have? Okay, very good. What do you think is the difference? Okay, ¿Qué hace o qué le agrega o qué le adiciona el have al could? ¿Qué creen que le coloca? O tal vez es una duda de todos. ¿Qué creen que le coloca el have? ¿Qué hace el have a los modal auxiliaries? ¿No? ¿Sí tienen la misma duda o no?
Considero que como que algo que se está hablando del pasado.
Ok. Si yo le quito a todos estos modal auxiliaries, le quito el verbo have, le quito el perfecto, dejan de usarse en un tiempo perfecto y dejan de ser o dejan de representar una estructura que yo utilizo para mostrar un regret o una falta de juicio, un remordimiento, algo que yo no hice y me reprocho. Eso sería el perfect modals. Esa es la diferencia. El could, ustedes ya saben cuándo lo pueden utilizar. El should es para consejo. I'm going to a party. What dress should I wear? Entonces yo le pregunto a alguien, what dress should I wear? ¿Qué debería de ponerme? The black or the red? What dress should I go? It's a birthday party. What dress should I wear? The red or the black? And your friend tells you, I like better the black. It's more elegant. And the other friend tells you, but it's a birthday party. Probably a red one because it's more cheerful. It's more appealing. Okay? That is the difference. Pueden usarlos indistintamente el could, el should, el have, el might, sin el have. Pero el have hace que este tiempo sea un auxiliar perfecto que usted utilice para hablar acerca de sus sentimientos, de sus creencias, de algunas acciones pasadas o eventos en el pasado de las cuales usted tiene algún reproche o tiene algún sentido de juicio. ¿Ok? Yes or no?
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
For example, si yo quito el have, el otro verbo, el main verb, ya no lo puedo utilizar como past participle.
No.
Viene a ser un verbo normal.
Ajá. ¿Por qué? Sí, porque cuando usted le quita a los moral auxiliaries, le quita el have, le quita el perfecto es el have y el verbo en pasado participio, ese es el perfecto. Se los quita, deja de ser un perfecto y pasa a ser el auxiliar, el moral auxiliary, pasa a ser un moral auxiliary que se utiliza en diferentes situaciones. Y la regla que tiene el moral auxiliary es que todos los auxiliares se utilizan con el verbo en la forma base. Could you open the door? Miss, can I go to the bathroom? Y obviamente podrían usarse en presente, la mayoría. ¿Ok? Entonces aquí la estructura es junta. El auxiliar, el moral auxiliary y el presente perfecto, para que sea algo que usted debió haber hecho, pudo haber cambiado. ¿Ok?
Ok, teacher.
Yes? Okay, let's go for the other one. Let's say there are missing only two. Would have. What happened with the would? Expresses certainty. Certainty es certeza de algo. Usted conoce a su mamá, usted conoce a su papá, que los enoja, que no los enoja, o a su hermana, o a su hermano, a su esposa, a sus hijos. Usted llega de tanto convivir con alguien, usted llega a conocerlo. ¿Ok? Entonces usted puede venir y hacer un comentario como este. You should have gone to Rio. Rio de Janeiro probably is the place. You should have gone to Rio. You would have loved it. You would have loved it. Okay? So I know you that you like the beach. I know you like the party. I know you like drinks. And in Rio, probably they were to the carnival. And what do you do in a carnival? You swim, you drink, you eat, you enjoy the party. You have new girlfriends, new boyfriends, I don't know. And I know you that you are like that. So I have the certainty, la certeza, that you would have loved it. Okay? Look at the second one. It's good he broke up with Anne. Okay? They wouldn't have been happy together. Okay? Someone says that he broke up with Anne. So they were two boyfriend and girlfriend and they broke up. What is broke up? What
Terminaron.
Is broke up? Terminaron, okay? And it says they wouldn't be happy together. And there is another person that it is a certainty that they wouldn't be happy together. Why? Probably because he was very different for Anne, or Anne, it was very different. And they didn't match in some way of living, in some thought, in some things. And I'm giving just my opinion that they wouldn't have been happy together. Okay? So probably your boyfriend, your brother just present a new girlfriend. And when you notice your boyfriend and the girlfriend, and they are very different, and you start thinking, I don't know what they are together because my brother is like this, and the girlfriend is like this, and then suddenly your boyfriend, your brother told you, what happened with your girlfriend? You ask, I don't know. Probably I will see her next week. And then the next week arrives and you ask about her. What happened with your girlfriend? Probably I will see her next week. And then you realize that they broke up. And you tell your brother, you wouldn't be happy together. Okay? So you know, you have the certainty. Okay? Susan didn't call you back. Okay? So Susan didn't call you back. Se suponía que tenía que llamarte. Okay? Devolverte la llamada. She must have forgotten. Okay? That's another that we have with the must. Okay? Now, we change to this one. We stay with the would have. Forget about this one. Must have. Okay? Aquí le hicieron un... Ya sé por qué. Forget about this one. Susan didn't call you back. She must have forgotten. That goes in the other one. Okay? Do you get the idea, the difference between could and would? Could expresses an ability. Would expresses a certainty, una certeza. And the last one, okay, is here. The must have. Must have gives a conclusion. Conclusion is cuando usted llega a una conclusión de una situación que pasó. ¿Ok? Y usted concluye que esto pudo haber pasado. Beth isn't here. ¿Ok? She must have gone home early. I think that's what happened. So you already know that Beth is all the time in the English class. But when you arrive to the classroom, Beth wasn't there. So you make a conclusion and you say, she must have come home early. Okay? Probably because you knew her. Another one, it says, they didn't buy the house. The price must not have been acceptable. Obviously, you are making a conclusion that there is a fact. They didn't buy the house. What could have happened? That the price must not have been acceptable. Okay? So for them, they couldn't get the price. They couldn't get the money. Or Lucy was late for class today. Lucy is always very, very punctual. Or your conclusion might be, she must have overslept. Do you know what is overslept? ¿Qué es lo más común que pasa cuando alguien llega tarde?
Se quedó dormido.
Okay. Yes, probably. She must have overslept. Okay. Those are the different type of examples that they are presenting you with the modal auxiliaries. Okay. If you like, we finish here. Okay. Miren aquí los tenemos todos. Regret, possibility, ability, certainty, conclusion. And the next exercise is to analyze the context. And they are giving you the chance to choose. You use this modal auxiliary or you use this according to the context, according to the information that they are giving you. Okay? And then we do another exercise. I have like 3 more exercises. Okay? Any questions so far? Don't worry. Tomorrow we continue. And I answer if you have any type of questions in the exercise that we're going to do. Okay? So far, no questions? Yes, Roxana.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yes?
I understand that might and might mean the same thing, but
yes.
I remember that might is used when it's more likely to happen, and might is used when it's less likely to happen. But I don't know if it's correct.
And no. You're giving me the idea that may and might both have the same meaning, okay? Pero uno me está dando a entender usted de que uno tiene la posibilidad de, uno tiene un grado más alto de posibilidad de que no pase y el otro menos. ¿Eso me dice?
Sí, como que se utiliza el might es como más probable que pase. Por ejemplo, si el cielo está nublado, yo utilizo el might para decir que es más probable que llueva. O sea, si pero si utilizo el might es como es menos probable que llueva. O sea, hago con esta como...
Hay un grado de
Ajá,
diferencia.
50% de que pase o no, pero utilizo uno para decir que sí es más probable que sí pase y el otro para decir que es más probable que no pase así. Algo así.
Como que uno tuviese el 60 y otro 40, algo así.
Más o menos, por así decirlo. Ajá, pero no sé si está correcto o no para saber cuándo utilizarlo, porque tuve el problema el curso pasado, más o menos que creo que fue que vimos pero no recibí el curso con usted, entonces no sé si está bien o no hacer esa como diferencia o lo puedo utilizar
indistintamente.
Indistintamente, ajá, ya que significan lo mismo.
Sí, en esta ocasión significan lo mismo. Lo puedo usar indistintamente. Puedo utilizar el may o puedo utilizar el might. Sí hay grados de uso, pero cuando los utilizamos en otras estructuras, probablemente no sé en qué estructura se lo indicaron, pero en esta es indistintamente, ¿ok? En esta es usted usa may o usa might y ambos significan exactamente lo mismo. Por eso es que en el libro les presenta el might. Aquí les presenta el libro, el may o el might como or, ¿ok? O utiliza este o utiliza el otro. Aquí está, ¿ve? May or might. May or might. Esto me da a entender que o puedo utilizar el may o puedo utilizar el might, pero ambos me indican que es una posibilidad. ¿De qué grado? En un 50%. En el could, en una habilidad de un 75%. En una certeza de un 90%. Y una conclusión es lo que yo asumo que pueda llegar a ser. ¿Ok? Pero obviamente, hasta que no pasa y no me entero yo que sí es, no puedo decir, sí tenía razón o no tenía razón. Estos moral auxiliaries están jugando a tomar decisiones y a juzgar o a medir cierto grado de certeza en algunas situaciones. Pero claro, hasta usted no saber todo, no los podría utilizar. Pero así les presenta el libro. Grado de certeza en cada uno o dónde utilizarlos en cada uno. ¿Ok?
Muchas gracias, teacher.
Ok. No more questions? Don't worry. We're going to practice tomorrow. Okay? No? Okay, guys, so let's leave it for tomorrow, the exercise. If you have any questions, you let me know. Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And see you tomorrow, okay?
Thank you, teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Nice day.
Bye, guys.